Normally, politics or elections should have been two things. You win, you lose. There's no middle line. But now if you look at the psychology of our election, I win and I win. There's nothing like I win and I may lose.
Hello there, and welcome to this exclusive interview with a man who is a friend of GhanaWeb, first of all, and who is very vocal when it comes to a lot of issues of national interest. Reverend Opuni Frimpong is a former General Secretary of the Christian Council and is also the current Executive Director of the Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa. This is an election year, and of course there will be a lot of discussions around the things we should do right or not, or the other things that we should not be concentrating on going into the December 7 elections. We're having a conversation on that. The concern here is about election-related violence. Reverend, thank you for the opportunity to speak to us.
My pleasure.
I hope you've been doing well. It's a new year. Happy New Year to you.
Many happy returns. And I'm good also to be here at GhanaWeb and all the exciting things we are hearing, and I know the future is bright.
Yeah, you've been a friend for many years. Thank you for extending that hand of friendship to us. Now let's get into the discussion. Now, it's an election year. First of all, why should we be concerned? I know that we've had many incidents in the past, all the elections that have been held, especially under the Fourth Republic, where there have been election-related violence. Why are we talking about that now?
How I wish we would have been discussing, bread and butter issues, not violence, going to election. But here we are. The organization you mentioned, Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa, is a body of ministers, pastors from different churches, but also university scholars, lecturers. And we've brought ourselves together to answer to the question, how do we bring faith perspectives on national issues, public policy issues? Some of us are here in Ghana. We have some of our members in Angola, DR Congo, Liberia, and other Africa countries. Now, we have taken time to study under the Fourth Republic, the past 30 years, the 8 elections that we have held as a nation. The reports are not secret materials. You go to European Union website, you find reports on our elections, all the elections, Electoral Commission website, Ghana Police Service, CODEO, domestic monitoring body, and many more, including Ghana Police Service. Now you study each election, and all the reports will point to this reality that every election in Ghana records death. Death. Every election, the 8th election. The recent 2021 recorded 8.
Yes, just for one constituency.
Yes.
Yes.
The sad part of it is even by-elections. By-elections are supposed to be just one constituency, not national, the general election that you have the whole country before you. Now you are talking about just one constituency like Ayawaso, and still our elections will record death. These are information. You find it in the textbook. Now, it's not speculative things. It's not like some media people, These are the material available and the reality when it comes to our elections. And that brings me to the issue you are raising. Why should we be concerned about electoral violence? Leadership is about service. So if I offer myself to lead a nation like a presidential candidate or member of parliament, the message is, folks, I'm here to serve you. It's development. Then I will ask, if you are here to develop so that I will have access to development. Why should I die before development? Why should Ghanaian young people die before your development, before you construct the road, before you give education? You are you are becoming the president. You are becoming my member of parliament. And in the process, I should die ahead of your developmental effort. Now that is what we are saying must stop. That we as a country must commit to zero tolerance of electoral death in this country. That the soil of Ghana must not drink the blood of the innocent due to that process of searching for leaders. Zero tolerance for electoral death. We've had enough the past 30 years. Ghana must tell a better story.
Now, Reverend, I'm intrigued beyond the conversation we're having about stopping election-related violence. But we have a history in Ghana. People believe that we talk more than we act. Is this not going to be one of the rhetorics where it's just a call from your organization scattered across Africa? Is this not just going to be one of those?
Yeah. It will remain rhetoric. If the 8 people, 2020 elections, have nothing to do with you, it will remain rhetoric. If the Aya also dead, have nothing to do with you. If the 8 election dead, but assuming the Techiman death, one of them, either your father, your brother, your son, your uncle. I teach at KNUST. School has just reopened. Medical school, fee paying 12,000 cedis one academic year. You pay times 6. Now, even when your parents are alive and they are going out begging people, please help me pick my 12,000 academic year bill, it's not been easy for some parents. Now in your case, the daddy who should have been there to be even going around begging people to help them pay the bills, your daddy is gone. It's gone all because somebody was becoming president. Somebody was becoming member of parliament. And your daddy was at the collation center and somebody shot him. This is why it cannot continue. It cannot remain rhetoric. So we as a nation, the political parties, faith-based organization leaders, traditional leaders, everybody must be on board that the deaths we are recording, not just numbers. It will remain rhetoric. If we are just, but the other day it was even more. So numbers, but they are not numbers. We are talking about breadwinners. We are talking about investment that certain parents have made. And we as a nation must be concerned and move beyond rhetoric and face the reality and say that this horror must end. It's like you are watching horror movie. And if you get to a point and you have enough, you must change the channel. So it can't continue to be a rhetoric. That is how it appears to be for some people. But I'm saying the 8 people, you have one of them in your family.
That have been closer for people to relate.
Yes.
Okay, now 92, 96, 2000, all the way to 2020. Now we're in 2024. There's going to be an election. How do you get people who have been linked to these violence, these deaths, these murders as they are? There seems to be no punitive measures. We've not heard any such thing. So want it again, back to that question. Feel like, well, much ado about nothing.
You see, our democracy must grow. It must mature. It must solve problems. We've seen US, they also held election 2022. And even president who was having a problem, people went to the White House, they have been judged and they have been jailed. Some have been jailed.
None has happened in Ghana before.
Why not? That's a question I'm asking. We are still Black Star of Africa. It's only football that is not favoring us. But some people come to Ghana to learn. In fact, I was a Christian Council General Secretary, as you said, and we brought 21 heads of churches and Muslim leaders to spend 1 week in Ghana, preparing them, helping them to manage their elections, some of the challenges we are talking about. I have been to DR Congo to run series of workshops, and they all hail us, Ghana, you are doing well. So let's bring the dirty side of us also out, that here we are doing well, but this side, we are not doing well. When people come to us, They know, because now the report is there. So let's begin to address that side of us. You see, our leaders after election, all of them, NDC, MPP, President Mahama Nanado, will go to church wearing white to thank God. Our hands are tainted with blood.
But wait, you are the same pastors that accommodates them.
That is why I'm the same pastor doing this conversation, doing this public campaign. That one, traditional leaders and faith-based organization leaders. You see, this is how we play the game. This year, very soon, and that's why I want to go ahead of them and set the agenda, raise this issue. They will very soon go to the traditional leaders and ask them to pray for them. But they also go with gifts, whatever you need, drinks, money. Unfortunately, you find the traditional leaders, some of them, me and my people will vote for you 80%. And instead of addressing the issue you are raising, they talk about how they will vote for them. Now the narrative must change. I expect traditional leaders, when they come, welcome them. They will bring gifts, receive the gifts, but let them make commitment in your presence that my young people are ready to go around, arrange chairs for your rallies. They will follow you to campaign grounds. They will be at the voting centers. But please, if you send 100 out, bring 100 back. Safe and sound. Mr. President, Mr. Honorable, whatever, give me this commitment, your word, that the young people, my citizens in this area, that will support you. They must support you. It's a way of mentoring young people into politics. Politics is good. It's leadership. So somebody must mentor the up and coming one. So my young people will follow you. But make sure their heads, their hands, their eyes are intact. So we need traditional leaders now to demand commitment from them. They will still come very soon. You see them moving from palaces. It's the same with us pastors, as you raise, rightly so. They will be coming to church. Pastor, pray for us. We also, they give us money. They give us money.
Which is something you've spoken about.
Sometimes they give us money and our prophetic voices begin to change immediately. You see,
is that
pastors,
because money actually rules?
I don't know, but you can never replace prophetic voice with money, especially when death. The young people sitting in my church. The other day you came here, I prayed for you. Yes, you gave me money. There are certain public servants that are not supposed to collect gifts. But chiefs and pastors, we are free to collect gifts. But we must stay focused. You know, you have young people sitting in your church. The other day, and in mosques also, not only in church, they go onto the mosques
places of worship, yes.
And they give them also money like they give to traditional leaders. But the other day they were in your mosque. They took these young people out. One, they don't return. Or there are some places they spoil somebody's eye. You see? And now they've come again. And you are telling me, yes, you pray for them, you collect the gifts, and that will be the end of the story.
But should the ball only be at the court of pastors or political leaders? How about the people, you and I?
Okay, you see,
because there are a lot of times that, of course, people are also interested in what they benefit from many of these politicians. How about that?
But let's start from this matter of influence. You see, this group of people, they command respect. You others may need money, but they don't command the respect that our traditional leaders, our pastors and imam. So they must accept their role in the whole process, because as for them, they will go to them. They will very soon come to us. They will come to church. They will go to mosque. They will go to traditional leaders. Let us use our influence to address this problem that we have had the past 30 years. Then that comes to the next issue you have raised. Politics should have been a sense of patriotism. The drive must be a sense of patriotism that I love Ghana. I want to serve. Our country at the moment, politics has become business. What it means is that people are investing. Some are picking loans, you know, as they do their delegate things. And it's some loans from banks. Some sell their, facilities, buildings.
Obviously, because they know what they'll get.
Exactly. That is where another source of the tension we are talking about. So normally, politics or elections should have been two things: you win, you lose. There's no middle line. But now, if you look at the psychology of our election, I win and I win. There's nothing like I win and I may lose. They don't want to hear that because I'm protecting my investment. And then we have a constitution, this issue of winner takes all. Now, Ghana, and this is supported by a structural thing, that if you win election, especially president and your party, everything about this country is under your control. What it means is all the appointment, from regional minister to district chief executive, all state enterprises, boards, everything is under the beck and call of the president. Until recently, all bills going to parliament, president. In fact, development, whether your road will be fixed or not, is still president, the budget that you send to parliament. You see, so that's what people are fighting, that if we win, we'll have everything. That one is a long term. There's very little that we can do. But the short term, those people we are talking about, you see,
I hope that I just wanted to hold your thought just for a bit, because there are also larger conversations, bigger ones, about even the politicking in Ghana. I want you to catch your breath just for a bit. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. My name is Echi Atisu. This is Election Desk on GhanaWeb TV. My guest is the Executive Director of the Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa, Reverend Dr. Opuni Frimpong. Opuni Frimpong. Now, before we went on that short break, I know the conversations are heated. The parts that leaders play, also the parts that politicians, and of course, the citizenry also play. Now, this is, before you even went on that break, you spoke about the Constitution. Now, the same Constitution allows for multi-party systems, but recently we more or less have like a two-party state. Let's start from there. Are the politicians of these two major political parties, the NPP and the NDC, are they the ones we should, are they not the ones we should be getting these conversations to more than just the larger population?
You are right. At the moment, even though we have several,
they are smaller ones.
The smaller ones, but the two leading ones. But they cannot win election on their own.
Okay.
They will still need you. They will still need, like I said, churches. They will need young people. If you don't vote for them, they cannot win election. So they know, as for this, they know that they need you. And there's nothing wrong. That's the system of governance we have chosen for ourselves. The challenge now is politics in our country is becoming like a business. Meaning, go make investment, protect your investment, fight hard, win, and you have all. Now that mindset is pushing, and the two of them, because if you read the reports I'm talking about, the reports don't justify any of them as better off when it comes to matters of cheating, violence. They are all the same. None of them is exonerated in any of this report. They are all losing legacy mindedness. What it means is, let us do what we can do today. Let's get what we can get today. We don't care what people think about us the coming years. You see? So they move in, and if you must die for me to get what I'm looking for, we are moving on. Now that's the painful side of our elections at the moment. That people are losing that sense of, a legacy mindedness. That all that we are doing, they are being recorded. And one day, I study political science at University of Ghana, political history, Professor Ukwe. People will study us. If you are legacy-minded, you are thinking one day if my son or grandson enters at the university and they are given the records to study, and my son, grandson will get to know that, oh, so my daddy became president through the death of 8 innocent people. Or somebody will read that and point to those who come after you, that this is how your dad became member of parliament. We should be worried about that. What it means is we are creating problems today, expecting our children to solve tomorrow. If you are such a leader, you are a bad leader. A leader that creates problems today for people to come and solve tomorrow. And some of them are creating problems even for their families. The records are there. You get money. You build whatever you want to build. But remember, one day, the records will prove the matters of integrity and credibility. So today is money, money, money. But I pray and hope we have a paradigm shift where people begin, and that's where we need the media. GhanaWeb, you are everywhere. That we start raising the issue of credibility and integrity, consciousness and legacy. That yes, you want to lead us, but we are watching. The young people who come after you, you may get everything, but you will not always be here. And we will tell your story one day.
All of this sounds like a very bad picture. There are people who feel that, okay, how about we sit back? We don't even participate in elections at all. We don't vote.
Oh, that's not the best way to go.
What would be the best way out?
You see, if the good people in a society, in a family, decide to be quiet, we don't care, then you leave the family, you leave the society into the hands of the dangerous, wicked people. And it's equally as dangerous as you know, so that is not the best way to go. We must get involved. But we need young people, a new generation, that must think about themselves and their future. You see, I love you, but I cannot destroy myself for you to build your own. So we need young people who draw red lines for themselves. That, honorable, I'll follow you. I will arrange the church for the rallies. We are having election. I will do all the posters and all that. We will go to media, do communication. But if you ask me to take a gun, a stake, machete, whatever to go and kill somebody, Your Excellency, I'm sorry, I won't do it. Because I'm also building my own future. I don't know how tomorrow will be like me. Today, I don't have it. Today, I don't drive the car you drive. But maybe tomorrow, my story will be different. Some of them are so uncaring. I ran a workshop in Central Region, and a JSS boy, and they brought some of these children to the meeting, raised his hands and said, an MP gathered our parents and asked them that they should bring us for this voter registration. 16-year-old member of parliament is saying, go and register and say you are 18.
So the politicians are really part of all of this.
And this young small boy, JSS, said, I told my mom, Ma, I won't do it.
Okay.
Because he has received the information. That's why I brought in media. That if we can go out there with information and educate people, we will save some of them. You know, at the university, the entry point information, if you are coming to university and you say you are 18, even though in reality you are 16, is very difficult to change. And these days with all the biometric thing we are doing. So you want to be president. And you are asking a young boy, 16 years, to go and pick a voter registration that I'm 18. This young boy had learned in a church that these things will affect him. So he was able to tell the mother, I won't do it. That's what I'm calling for. Our young people must begin drawing red line. I love you, honorable. I'll do what I can. But if you ask me to cross red line, but here, media and the churches and the mosque can now start helping people, giving new orientation that if you do X, Y, Z, you are crossing red line. You are crossing red line. We may be able to save some of them.
I was reading a research paper, that looked at the roles of youth wings of political parties in all of these discussions that we're looking at? Because there have been many instances where even internal youth groups have vandalized properties of their own parties. Now, the role of the youth, what they should do and not, and being discerning and all of that, how do we balance their own emotions about the things that are going wrong? How do we help the young people to also come to the realization that it should be more than being violent?
It's not like the young person will wake up this morning, have breakfast, and say, Chobwe, we are going to destroy MPP or NDC party office. It doesn't work that way. There's always a mobilization effort.
Okay.
It's somebody who designed the scenario you are describing, that, hey, this person, we are going there, we are going to burn the office, we are going to do this. Then they arrange for buses or whatever. And then they arrange the materials they are going to use, either stones or whatever. It's somebody's job. Make sure guns, they are all available in the car. It's not a young person. They don't have money to buy those things. Then they make fried rice available. So the bus is here, enter. You take your pack of fried rice or whatever, and then some 50 cedis. Some 50 cedis. Or if you are lucky, 100 cedis.
All these things not tied to hunger and the fact that people can't afford some of these basic things themselves?
I'm telling you, some also can still say that even though I don't have 50 cedis, I don't have 100 cedis, I will never throw myself into the hands of the dog. There are young people also who have that will, that determination.
But do they outweigh those who don't today? Can we say that?
If those of us, who manage the safety networks, including what you are doing, networks, you see, now young people on social media, there are many of them, city, urban, and they are hungry for information. So now if I can get a network that is very strong on social media, like what you do, and then we feed the system with information, with pictures, with realities, with facts and figures, including whatever they want to watch, TikToks. You do all this. Gradually, you will get some of them that will also be protected because of what we do, what you do at GhanaWeb. You can save some. If pastors will follow suit, they can save some. If mosque can follow, so we may lose some of them, but gradually we'll protect many of them. It is on the other side. If we all decide that, as for these young people, know whatever you do, so let's leave them, then they will kill them. Because those who are killing them, they don't care. They are protecting their investment. So if you young person, you come collect my fried rice and the 50 cedis, and you don't come back, immediately, as for our friends in Islam, even they don't take much time, immediately they bury you. But the others that they will go to the morgue, period that they are there, they'll come and flood your family house and just look remorseful and pay for the casket.
All right, just a quick one. There's also the issue of political parties and their private security. How do we deal with this thing, which you call vigilante?
The vigilante, we have a bill. In fact, we had it 2019. The first election after the passing of that bill was the 2020 election that we recorded 8. And that's why we started this campaign. That we had the vigilante bill passed 2019. Then the first election after that law, we recorded 20. And even as at now, as we do this conversation, nobody has been jailed, punished for that. And therefore, yes, we have the vigilante, but if we go to bed, now we have vigilante laws. Having 2020 in mind, we may not help ourselves. But at least we have laws in this country that is supposed to protect us. But 2020 is not a better story as far as the vigilante.
Okay, very, very, very finally. Now there's the call by the SDA Church for the day of election, which is December 7, to be moved beyond, whether it is November. Now, just recently, the EC is also proposing for a November election. You are man of God, you're a priest.
No, I'm a member of the IPAC.
Well,
where these things, the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, I'm a member.
What do you make of this request?
Democracy is free speech.
Okay.
And if you are hungry, you must be free to say, I'm hungry. That's what democracy is all about. Whether the majority will listen to your cries, another thing. So
but would it be the right thing? Because 2008 was a Sunday.
The point is fine. If the Sunday people did not call for change and the Saturday people will call for change, that's democracy.
So we should be open to hear them.
Yes, you must listen. At the end of the day, but the EC itself, for some good reason, you see, because when you finish the election and there must be a runoff, they need enough time. And you know, there's a time a frame that they must finish it, because if there's a runoff, you need another arrangement. And by the January, early January, we must be swearing in a new president. You understand that? So now the EC itself is saying that we need time to finish the election, and if need be, we need to prepare for a runoff. We need enough time. So the EC itself, not the SDHH, is working towards that. But for me, free speech, there's nothing wrong. If you are hungry, you must be free to say, I'm hungry.
Thank you very much. Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuni Frimpong is a former General Secretary of the Christian Council, currently Executive Director for African Christian Advocacy, Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa.
Sorry,
thank you very much. This has been Election Desk. Remember that GhanaWeb.com is back online. You might be seeing other websites, but GhanaWeb.com is back. If you're unable to access the website, clear your browsing history and then type in GhanaWeb.com and you can get all your news right there. This has been Election Desk. My name is Echi Atisu.